Oh, absolutely. That burn patient moment with April is such a classic April screw-up. I mean, it's literally written all over her face from the start. Distracted, overwhelmed, and completely missing the mark with the airway check. On your third watch, it's glaringly obvious, right? But the first time around, I definitely didn't catch the significance either. I remember just thinking, okay, so she's messing up, no big deal, and then, bam, the episode hits you with the fallout. It's like the universe was like, let's just make this obvious from the start and see who notices. Honestly though, the fact that it's so clear now is almost like the writers were just waiting for us to figure it out. But when you're watching for the first time, you're too caught up in all the chaos to notice the little clues. Classic Grays, always keeping you on your toes. Ah, the Ellen vs. Patrick drama. It's a classic tale, isn't it? So there are a ton of rumors out there, but nothing has been fully confirmed, so let's break it down. First off, yeah, there were definitely whispers about Ellen and Patrick not getting along, especially during those last seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I mean, they've both been pretty open about their struggles, but not so much about each other. Here's what we do know. Patrick Dempsey was dealing with a lot during his last season. His mom had been battling cancer for a long time, and she passed away right before he left the show. That kind of grief can mess with you, and it wouldn't be surprising if his behavior on set got a little off because of it. He was likely dealing with the realization that, maybe life was too short and he should focus on his family. But here's where the tension started. He really seemed to want out of Grey's, and it wasn't just him. They wanted him out too. The rumors about him being difficult to work with aren't all that far-fetched given everything going on in his personal life. As for the Ellen and Patrick beef, it looks like there were some messy things behind the scenes. Supposedly, Ellen found out about Patrick's affair with someone on the production team, not Tessa Ferrer, as some fans like to say, and that put a strain on things. On top of that, there was apparently tension over salary discrepancies, with Ellen not feeling like Patrick was supportive enough in fighting for equal pay, considering they were both leading the show. Sounds like a recipe for awkwardness, right? Anyway, after Patrick left in 2015, he and Ellen didn't speak for years. It wasn't until 2020 that they reconnected, which led to him coming back for a couple of episodes in season 17. They seemed cool for a while after that. I mean, they even shared a moment at the Disney Legends thing in 2022, hugging and joking around like nothing ever happened. But fans who ship them together will never let things go. They're still convinced there's something more going on. To sum it up, there's a lot of speculation. And while we can't say for sure what happened, it seems like personal issues, grief, affairs, money, all that good stuff played a big part in the tension. They've come a long way since then, but who knows what's really going on now behind closed doors. Just don't take anything too seriously. Fans can be pretty wild when it comes to these things. Can we please stop posting spoilers in your titles? Thank you. We do our best to remove them, but guess what? There's only so much we can do. I personally delete about 4 or 5 of these a day, and just because you don't see them doesn't mean we're not working on it. Please try to be patient. As I've mentioned before, we actually have lives outside of Reddit, and we can't catch every single post as it's uploaded. And seriously, why is this even still a thing? All it takes is a season/episode number to tell me whether I've seen it or not. If I have, great, I want to join the conversation. Like S4, 11 spoiler question about Alex. Simple, right? Yet I'm always left scratching my head wondering how these posts are getting through when the sub-rules literally say not to do this. Derek never should have taken Addison back. Honestly, it wasn't fair to her. Forget that he was in love with Meredith. That's a whole other mess. The truth is, Derek checked out of that marriage long before the Meredith drama even started. He found out she cheated and then just disappeared. He didn't want to be married to Addison anymore. The cheating? That was just the final push out the door. Taking her back after all that? Definitely unfair to Addison. I think Derek really wanted to make it work with Addison. He tried longer than he should have, hoping he could get his heart into it. But let's be real, his heart wasn't there. Did he handle it perfectly? No, but he had just been blindsided by two of the people closest to him. Of course, he's not going to handle that gracefully. His motivations were what he told Meredith, 11 years of marriage. That's not something you just erase overnight. It's not easy to walk away from all those memories, the holidays, the years of history. And let's not forget how his sister treated Addison. She was practically cheering for the divorce. He didn't have much support. Now, I love Addison, but let's not pretend she was some innocent bystander here. Her whole thing with men? So frustrating. She hooks up with Mark, not because she loves him, but because she's starving for attention after Derek checks out. She stays with Derek, even though their relationship is based on lies. She's lying to Derek by not telling him about her months-long fling with Mark. She's lying to herself about the state of her marriage, convincing herself it's not over when it totally is. Derek? Yeah, he's lying to her too, pretending he's invested in fixing things when all he wants is to be with Meredith. And let's not forget the whole thing she had going on with her pregnant patient's husband. Seriously, who thought that was okay? Gross on so many levels. Derek had his issues, no doubt about it, and they're talked about ad nauseum. But Addison? She's not as innocent as everyone wants to believe. The only person who gets any sympathy here is Meredith, and even that's to a point. Had Derek known the full truth about Addison and Mark, there's no way he would have taken her back. He ran, but when face to face with Addison again, he hesitated about ending his 11-year marriage over what he thought was a one-time mistake. He admitted he had been absent, and that made it hard for him to just walk away. But Addison not being honest with him about her relationship with Mark, that was downright unfair. Derek told her he'd fallen for Meredith, so by all means, if he should have ended the marriage, she should have too. It's hard to feel bad for either of them at that point. They were both a mess, and Meredith? She was the only one who got caught in the middle of their chaos. All right, so after watching all 20 seasons, almost done, but a couple more to go, I've got some burning questions and random thoughts. First off, let's talk about the actual good actors here, not necessarily the characters they play, because, honestly, some of them are awful or super unlikable, but the actors themselves. Top tier. Most of the long-term characters get stuck in repetitive ruts, and the writers just rehash the same stuff over and over. So my top 5 best actors, hands down, are Katarina Skorson, Kevin, McKidd, Sandra, Anthony Hill, and here's my hot take, Katherine Heigl. They're the ones who bring something different to the table. They're versatile, natural, and you can see them actually acting. You know, the thing you're supposed to do in a show like this. Now, let's talk about a few other things that make me lose my mind. Kim Raver, are you serious with that hairstyle? Every time she shows up on screen with those blonde ringlets, I get completely distracted. Like, come on, no self-respecting army doctor or top surgeon is spending their day curling their hair like that. We're talking about people who are constantly running on adrenaline, not a beauty pageant. And can we please stop with the social issue speeches every 5 minutes? I get that the show wants to make a statement, but come on. It's like they're checking boxes. Addison gets the abortion speech. Oh, Miranda and Ben get the talk to your kids about tough issues speech. You know, just some casual, shoved-in-your-face political rants that last for 1 episode, and then are never mentioned again. Like, thanks for the lecture, writers, but can we move on now? At least, the reproductive health thing stuck around for a bit. But I swear, season 15 was just one big hot-button issue after another. One and done, like a fast food special. And speaking of misplaced character traits, who decided Miranda would suddenly have anxiety and OCD? Yeah, let's throw that in there like it's no big deal. Who's struggling with anxiety and OCD? Oh, I know, Miranda's never had it before, but let's just toss it on her this season. Really? It would have been fine if there was any build-up, but nope, it's just dropped in without explanation. But whatever, that's a whole other issue. Also, is anyone else really annoyed that we're missing out on major plot lines and character developments because we're not watching Station 19? Like, who is that guy who just died, and why are we supposed to care? Seriously, I'm losing out on context because of some crossover episodes that are supposed to matter but don't. Random shoutout. Shyler Leigh was amazing. She was perfect at playing an awkward character without making it cringy. And I'll never forget that iconic I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't breathe moment with Slum in Season 8. Shyler really nailed that. And let's talk about Sarah Drew for a second. Her acting is phenomenal. The shooting episode, the one where she thought Jackson was blown up on the bus, the home C-section episode, her crisis of faith storyline, incredible. No matter how you feel about her character, you can't deny she's got the chops. Finally, with Bailey's OCD, I don't think it's as out of nowhere as some people think. Anxiety's been a part of my life forever, but it wasn't until my late teens, after going through something traumatic, that I developed OCD. So I get it. I actually appreciated that storyline. OCD is one of the most misunderstood mental disorders, and I'm always here for more representation on that front. So yeah, that's my rant. But seriously, can we just get better hairstyles for Kim Raver already? Ah, Bailey in her early Nazi phase, what a treat. Rewatching Grays from episode 1 and man, I forgot how much I missed her tough as nails stage. Don't get me wrong, I adore the Bailey we have later on, but the early days, priceless. Honestly, I only realized on my latest rewatch that she wasn't that much older than Magic He, and was actually younger than Arizona. She's basically a tiny ball of sass with a PhD in Don't Mess With Me. She's definitely my favorite character. What I love most is that Bailey manages to stay tough, but there's still that softer side hidden under all the attitude. And here's the kicker. Bailey's a fourth-year resident when the interns first show up. I mean, she's only 3 years older than that mean crew. So if Meredith really did spend 5 years in Europe, she's technically older than Bailey. Mind-blowing, right? Now, the Bailey we see today is really a product of her peers being the main characters. In the beginning, we were looking at Bailey through the lens of the interns, but now the tables have turned. We're watching the interns through Bailey's eyes. It's not so much that I miss her mean boss act, but rather the absence of that strict, no-nonsense boss trope now that we know everyone so well. The show's just evolved. Still, can't help but miss that Bailey who'd make you want to hide under the desk, and somehow love her for it. Oh, don't even get me started on Edwards in the season 13 final. Like, what she pulled off? Absolutely insane. We're talking bananas level crazy. And then, nothing. No credit. No recognition. Not even a scene with Aaron's parents saying thank you or showing any kind of gratitude. She literally just gets airlifted to Texas and that's it. That's her whole reward for saving a life in such a high-stakes situation. What? The whole episode was so intense. The tension was through the roof. And then it just ends. There's no sense of relief or resolution. It's like, oh, Edwards did the impossible, and then it's just over. How do we not get a moment of appreciation for that kind of heroism? Like, come on, at least throw her a bone here. So I stumbled on a clip from Grey's Anatomy. Haven't seen most of the show, just a few scattered episodes, but this one stuck with me. It's a scene where Dr. Weber threatens to suspend Meredith Grey. Why? Because she dared to stand up for a little girl who was being abused. The catch, her mother, also a victim, was more focused on protecting her abusive husband's memory than, her daughter's basic safety. The woman was literally about to make the kid apologize for shooting her abuser in self-defense. Yes, really. Now Meredith, she wasn't having it. She called the mom out, hard, and she wasn't wrong. The mom had clearly lost her moral compass, somewhere between trauma and denial, and someone had to protect that child. Meredith stepped up because no one else would. Enter Weber, who instead of supporting her, basically says, "How dare you?" He threatens suspension, acting like Meredith just committed a federal offense by speaking the truth. Was this necessary? Justified? Not really. It's giving protect the fragile adult at the expense of the endangered child. But here's the thing. Meredith was right, morally, legally, and professionally. That's where it gets messy. In real-life hospitals, you don't get to go rogue and publicly berate a parent, even if they're failing spectacularly. That's what social workers, psych consults, and CPS are for. As we've seen in other episodes, characters like Arizona and Burke have spelled it out before. Doctors advocate, but they don't attack. There's a fine line between fighting for your patient and stepping way out of bounds. Still, let's give credit where it's due. By the end of the episode, Weber realizes he messed up. He apologizes to Meredith, not just for that moment, but for his role in the emotional mess that was her childhood. Growth? We love to see it. So yeah, Meredith went too far, but for all the right reasons. Weber tried to uphold boundaries, but ended up defending someone who'd abandoned hers. It's complicated, it's frustrating, but of course, it makes for great TV. Which patients made you cry? Oh, where do I even begin? I'm on season 15 right now, and that scene where Nana Shadian gets married? Yeah, I was barely holding it together. It hit way too close to home, especially since I might be losing my own baby. Not confirmed yet, still waiting on tests. And going through the season where April loses Samuel? Forget it. I'm a puddle. Every single time there's an episode like that, I'm wrecked all over again. Then there's this one from the early seasons. A mom with lung cancer, I think. She tells her daughter, "You're going to be sad for a while, but don't be sad forever." That line, it punches me in the chest every single time. Doesn't matter how many times I've heard it. Instant tears. The people impaled on the pole, classic emotional devastation. The dad trying to take his daughter to Mexico for some experimental treatment, only to realize the best thing he could do was just be there when she died? Brutal. Bomb squad guy. Do I even need to say more? We all know. Then there was that woman who everyone thought had a made-up boyfriend, until he actually showed up, after she was already in a coma. That was cruel and beautiful and awful all at once. The older man who told Amelia the time of death for his wife, and then just quietly said he'd have to get used to doing things alone now. That one got me. Like hit me in the soul got me. And the "it had to be you" couple, pure heartbreak.